season has been is versatility, and he's been able to adapt to different kinds of racetracks and to different situations so well that he has been able to maintain that points championship. And talking about the 57 Logan Seavey, we're going to send it down to Drake York.
Thank you so much, Christy. And we saw the issues that plagued KTJ, Kevin Thomas Jr. Dirt Draft hot laps earlier. They were able to come out and post a time during Honest Abe Roofing qualifying, talk to the crew, and they had an issue with the oil line. So it wasn't a major issue, and albeit it was a quick fix as well, but still something they didn't want to see happen, and he's got his work cut out for him tonight as he was 16th fastest on Honest Abe Roofing qualifying. And as you mentioned, he'll start on the pole here at Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1 later this evening.
So it's a little bit of a double-edged sword. Yeah, that means, okay, I didn't do as well in qualifying as I wanted to, but it puts him in a good position, and that's where it's kind of the give and take to give him a chance to get himself up in those first 5 rows.
Yeah, it is. And to be able to land on the pole of the heat race is such a tricky little thing, right? Because yes, it means you didn't qualify as well as you wanted to if you're sitting on the front row of your heat race, but it does give you a better opportunity to try and pick up the win of that heat race, which can then salvage your starting position. The tricky part is you don't know where you're landing in qualifying when you're doing it. And so every time you go out there, you're giving it every single thing that you've got, because you can't risk not landing perfectly in a spot where you do have better circumstances. So it's luck of the draw in the sense that you just cross your fingers and hope that if you're not as fast as you want to be to get into that top 6, that you're fast enough to land on the front row of the heat race, and certainly it doesn't always pan out that way.
It makes it where, they try to accuse drivers of sandbagging. You can't do that with this format, because if you sandbag, to put it bluntly, you're going to screw yourself.
It is essentially impossible to sandbag, and I think you could ask any one of them. It's not in competitive nature, and I know that, you could argue that all day long. That's most likely an opinion, but it's really not in competitive nature for many of these drivers who are more competitive than many other athletes of different varieties. And secondly, it is impossible to sandbag on this format and put yourself in a good situation. Last night, a perfect example of that with Nick Harris missing the invert after qualifying 6th.
Yeah.
CJ Leary qualified 7th, and that moved him back into the 6th position, which then put him on the pole of last night's main event. Had Nick Harris transferred, CJ Leary would have started 11th at best.
Yeah, it'll shake things up, and that really goes to your point, and that's a really good example of being able to show, hey, this one spot changed you 6 rows.
And that's a huge difference, especially when we talk about the configuration of Macon Speedway and just how little time you really do have to get things done, even with those 40, 50 lap races.
So Logan Seavey at a 10.471. Wesley Smith at a 10.483. Carson Garrett at a 10.537. Justin Grant at a 10.549. Mitchell Moles at a 10.604. Kevin Thomas Jr. 10.661. And Joey Amanti at a 10.785. As I do believe Drake once again down trackside.
Well, I've caught it with a guy who's probably had a really busy last hour and a half or so, and that, of course, is Talon Turner. Man of many talents, a former driver behind the wheel, and you're kind of overseeing this weekend here with the Amsoil USAC National Sprint Cars from Macon's perspective. So from a promoter's perspective, take us through the last hour or so with all that rain coming in and, eventually trying to have to make the call. Do we cancel tonight or do we go back racing?
Yeah, thankfully we have a great crew here, Reese O'Connor and the team from Kokomo Speedway, as well as our Macon Speedway crew. I wasn't too worried. I knew the weather we had a chance of it coming in, and once it stopped, really the biggest thing is we had to wait for it to move through before we could get back on the racing surface. But as soon as it moved through, Reese and the team got to work, got the track back ironed in, and really it was just trying to keep people dry, keep all the equipment dry, and then get back after it as soon as it stopped.
And you're a very young man, too, so I imagine, a weekend like this puts a lot of pressure on you. I think you're still waiting on your 20th birthday, correct?
Yeah, I got a couple birthdays for the 20th one.
Oh, wow. Okay, wow, he's really young. And Brian, this is a guy that puts his heart and soul only into promoting, but eventually when he does hop behind the wheel every now and again, and like he's talked about, he's had a very hectic last hour and a half or so. Thank you, sir. Yeah.
I think hectic is his middle name.
He could change it for you.
He could. We changed his hometown in MRP. So heat race number 2 coming out. Again, they're going to get a chance to hot lap and check things out. As Colton Cottle, 8D on the Speedway. Jason Pursley on track. Robert Ballou, Matt Westfall, CJ Leary, Jake Swanson. Also out to the racing surface. And Cody Williams, driver who was not in action last night, making the trip up and joining the party here this evening. Again, remind you as you're making your way around the grandstands, still a couple of wet spots and a couple of slick spots. So make sure you please walk carefully. Again, plenty to eat, plenty to drink down at the concession stand. Want to remind you again, if you are enjoying adult beverages, please make sure you drink responsibly. Have a designated driver to get you home this evening. 50-50 tickets on sale. Again, benefiting the Meridian Hawks football. 1 for 1, 6 for 5, and 20 for $10. They've been cruising around the grandstands. They are stationed right there as you walk into the mighty Macon Speedway. And Blue, a little bit of smoke coming off of his machine. Looks like off of the engine, not out of the engine right now. I have to wonder if maybe a little bit of mud off or baby oil on the headers burning off a little bit.
I noticed that with him particularly last night as well, and kind of had my eye on that when we rolled into Dirt Draft Hot Laps last night. Turned out to be nothing, of course, for the 12, so I imagine a similar situation here today.
Back for the days of mud off. The
I remember
50-cent bottle of baby oil is what we'd use to help keep the mud off the cars.
I think that's still a trend. I think that still goes around.
You know, you have those smells and those references that bring you back to your childhood.
Yes.
It's methanol and baby oil burning off of headers. That's my childhood.
There's a big one of the Seagram's factory at Lawrenceburg Speedway.
I didn't realize that until we got there, and I was like, well, what's that? And they said, that's where they brew Seagrams. I'm like, really?
Pretty nifty.
So right now, drivers again getting a chance to come out and practice the 5Ds of dodgeball and get a couple of quick hot laps in here before we roll into racing action. If you're just joining us here on the FloRacing broadcast, trying to make up a little bit of time after a weather delay right as we got done with qualifying. Quick look at the lap times. Logan Seavey still with the quickest lap turned here in our second set of Dirt Draft Hot Laps at a 10.471. Wesley Smith still second quick at a 10.483. So we brought the hot laps out for heat race number 1. Again, we let them go around at speed, then they roll a little bit. They're going to do the same thing here with this second set. They're going to let them roll around, and you'll see once they get going again, those lap times are going to jump significantly.
Yeah, and so our fast time tonight with Honest Abe Roofing qualifying from Logan Seavey was a 10.2. We're at a 10.4 right now for Logan Seavey. So we're not too far off from where we were just a little while ago before the rain came.
No, not at all. 4th time this season, 12th time in his career. I keep going back to as much as he wins, he's kind of like Robert Blue. He's not always the quick qualifier. He's just good at winning.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that Logan Seavey has racked up quite a few more Honest Abe Roofing qualifying awards with the USAC Nos Energy Drink National Midget Series.
Yes.
And that's kind of been his bread and butter. That's where he came from. That's the roots that he came through with Keith Kunz Motorsports, and obviously now a USAC Nos Energy Drink National Midget Champion, headed after a Triple Crown this year, in fact.
Also going for the 3-peat with the Chillable Nationals, powered by Nos Energy. Driver who has qualified faster than anybody this year is C.J. Leary. He's done it 6 times so far this year. And talked about this with Logan, where you kind of have a mixture of tracks. And I mentioned this at one point a couple of races ago where C.J., it's mainly bigger tracks is where you see him qualify quickest at. The only exception, Circle City.
Yeah, that Circle City has been a tricky one for many of the drivers in the field, just because it has varied a little bit over the visits that we've made there. So they've kind of struggled to get a handle on it. But, man, you can't deny that every time we're there, it is just a heck of a feature event.
It's a barn burner. So looking at the quick time from last night compared to tonight, of course, it was Dason Pursley had a 10.335. Tonight, a 10.268. Now, last night, the track had a lot more moisture in it. It was a lot more juiced up, but that goes to show when you have a little bit more room to actually carry momentum, you're going to pick up a little bit better speed.
Sure.
So we'll get them rolling once again here. Again, drivers on track you'll see in Rod Supply Heat Race number 2 a little bit later on.
They had an opportunity there to kind of roll things in pack it back down before they go back up to speed, try to get a couple more laps in to get the track blown off before we head into heat race action. Jason Persley now to the top of the board, put down a pretty good lap there that last time around at a 10.226, which, double check here, is faster than our Honest Abe Roofing fast qualifying time tonight from Logan Seedy.
No do-overs, Dason, no do-overs. So out of moments of heartache comes moments of hope in motorsports, and one of those great moments of hope and one of the great things about having our races live streamed is Hank Pollock, after an overnight stay at the hospital, is actually back home and he gets to watch tonight's races.
And that's incredible stuff, yeah, to make sure that he goes home from the hospital and to be able to sit in the comfort of his home and enjoy a race. I'm sure that's pretty comforting.
Hank, we hope you have a quick recovery. Hope to see you back at the racetrack. So heat race number 3 hot lap's going to make its way out here. Again, drivers pulling out to the track. Hayden Harvey, last night was his USAC National debut. He'll be joined by Nick Harris, Mario Klauser, Kyle Cummins in the 3P, Jaden Rogers in the 17 GP, Hunter Maddox in the 24M, and Brady Bacon, who was third quick in qualifying in the 69, also going to be back out to the racing surface.
And you just have to hope that Kyle Cummins has better luck tonight than what he had last night. And it was not for a lack of effort. It was not for a lack of speed or anything of the like. It was just simply bad luck.
Every time he'd get up to speed, something would just jump in his way.
Yeah, and that's essentially what happened. Things just kind of fell from the sky right in front of him, it seemed like.
So last night brought out a brand new Glenn Steyer's racing chassis. Unfortunately, a hard contact to the bottom actually broke part of the frame, so they brought the Mach 1 back out here tonight.
Yeah, so that chassis did not live a very long life.
It's always scary when you see and you hear that a chassis broke, but where it broke, nowhere close to the driver, is right under the front axle. So it's kind of an area that's more or less designed to kind of give and take the brunt of a hit.
Yeah, I was just about to say there are certain areas of chassis, cars, parts, equipment in general that are designed to give a little bit so that drivers don't absorb all the shock of any kind of impact, or so that, you know, a more important, more crucial part of the design of the race car doesn't give in a way that it's supposed to. So there are specific specs that are designed for that kind of thing.
And it's so interesting with the way these cars are constructed and the fact they're built from chromoly steel, which is a very finicky material, but it's also very good, flexible, it's strong, but it's very easy to overheat when you're welding. And we see that sometimes when we look at cars and how they came apart, where they were welded too hot and actually crystallized the material. So the fabricators of these cars, it is an art as much as it is a science to how they do it.
It is, and they've gotten very good at it, and sort of that's why there's just a handful of manufacturers for sprint car chassis that the drivers are, you know, attuned to and that we see out on the tours. And so they've definitely got it down to a science.
Just how easy it is to weld maybe a little bit too hot or not move fast enough and blow through that tubing. It's 095. That's the thickness of material we're dealing with here.
Which is incomprehensible, really.
So final driver has fired. Crews will clear down to the infield, just like we've seen in the last 2 sets. We'll let them go around at speed. We'll bring them to caution. We'll let them roll a little bit. And like I said, we saw, again, in that second half of hot laps for heat race number 2, you saw those lap times just jump immediately.
Yep, it'll continue to get faster, as I would imagine, as the night goes on and more cars on the racetrack and getting things more rolled in, more blown off. The speeds will pick up a little bit, although more cars on the racetrack at one time does give you more obstacles for impeding the speed that you're able to carry. So I wouldn't expect to continue to see the times falling throughout the night.
So again, going through the progression of letting drivers test out the turns, kind of get a feel for it, assess where they're at before they set them loose here. As getting a look at the 24M on the broadcast of Hunter Maddox, driver to Bedford, Indiana. The Auto Credit Airmaster Heating and AC, Tommy D's Windows, Doors, and Moore's Megacorp Logistics, number 24M. Ended up with an 18th place finish last night. When he's not racing sprint cars, he is selling conveyor systems. So if you think Amazon, your airport, places like that, that's what we're talking about.
I did not know that.
Also slings roofs.
That has to be heavy. Couldn't imagine.
Conveyor belts and shingles. Got to have a way to get them up there.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Dave Sharpley with Sharp Advantage tuning into tonight's broadcast. Several drivers in the field utilizing his insert system.
And that's kind of what we were just talking about with some of the parts on the car being designed to absorb some of the impact, and Dave makes a product that is designed to do exactly that.
So again, letting drivers roll around, kind of peruse around and work some of the crumbs back in before we let them loose one more time. Jerry Myers, Talon is trying to hunt you down. Jerry Myers.
So far in this TJ Ford's Heat Race number 3 set of rain delay hot laps, Jaden Rogers, the quickest out of this group thus far. They're going to get a couple more laps at speed. But Jaden Rogers currently 10th in this second round here.
So once we wrap up with this, again, we'll have our micros, and I believe our Hornets will get a chance to come out and check the racing surface. Once we get done with that, we'll roll into opening ceremonies, invocation, and national anthem. And we will roll into tonight's racing program as we're back to green.
Hayden Harvey getting tight on the cushion over there in turns number 3 and 4. Had that nose pointed straight at the wall. Saved it, though.
Did that last time during the feature event. Unfortunately, did not save it in time. Ended up pancaking the right rear wheel. Whoa, man. Launcher down the front straightaway. Them front tires were dangling. He's got Mario Klauser trying to work to his inside in that Yokohama number 6 machine. Klauser currently 3rd on the speed charts. And nobody going to be quicker than Dason Pursley here in our second round of hot laps at a 10.226. Brady Bacon ends up second quick at a 10.275. Mario Klauser at a 10.404. Nick Harris at a 10.420. And Logan Seavey ends up 5th quick at a 10.471. So again, we will have our Hornets and our Micros come out here in just a moment.
Alrighty, the micros are going to come out and get a couple of laps under their belt here before we get to the start of the racing program tonight. Three of those signed in tonight. Jace Reichnauer from Pocahontas, Clay Frederick from St. Joseph, and Seth Buell are the three cars that are here this evening ready to go. Also tonight on the program, but not hot lapping, are the four-cylinder Hornet cars, and we've got a couple of heats of that coming for the racing action later on tonight as well. All right, micros, let's have it. Want to thank you for sticking out through the weather delay that we've had here. Just that one big cloud hanging over the track, dropping down the big droplets of rain for a little while and pushed us back a little while. But thanks for sticking it out. And number one, thanks for coming to the Macon Speedway tonight and experiencing the excitement of our Saturday night Top Gun featuring the USAC National Sprint Cars and our racing program. So here are the three micros that are here ready to run. They'll get a couple of laps of hot laps to get themselves settled in and ready, and then we'll get to our national anthem, our opening ceremonies, and our first races of the night. Chase Reinecker, Clay Frederick, Seth Buell. In that order, coming around and receiving the checkered flag from our flagman, Jake Croxton. Longtime flagman here in Central Illinois. And the hot laps are complete for the micro sprints. Walking around and selling 50-50 raffle tickets tonight here at Macon Speedway is the Meridian Football Squad. Thanks to Meridian Football for being with us tonight. They're walking up and down the bleachers, and they're selling off those tickets. We'll have our drawings during our feature races tonight. If you can't find them walking around the front stretch or back stretch areas, their table is right behind or right under the Wayne Webb Reserve Seating section just outside of the main gate here at Macon Speedway. So thanks again to Meridian Football, and good luck to the Hawks this year. Just 2 weeks or 2 months away from the first football game of the 2024 season. And here come a couple of cars out of the Hornet division that are going to carry our flags this evening. Looks like car number 04, Steven Stein from Stonington, and number 5 from Niantic, Brandon Justice, are going to be in charge of our flags this evening to get our national anthem taken care of. All right, we'll get ready to go here with our flags and so on here.
Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to tonight's presentation of the United States Auto Club featuring the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship. It is Top Gun weekend. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would, please rise for tonight's invocation and national anthem. If you would, please remove cover. And in honor of those who have served this nation, out of respect to those who serve her today. If you would, please bow your head with us. Our Father in heaven, tonight, before we go to you and ask of you, we would go to you to give thanks for you. We thank you, Lord, for your glory, your grace, your honor, and above all, it is your forgiveness which we give thanks for we fall short of your side and your ways, but you never fail to bring us back to your path and to your teachings. And now, Lord, tonight we would ask of you. We would ask that you would watch over the drivers who have gathered here tonight, that the competition would remain fierce, but sportsmanship, fairness, friendship, these are the virtues that would prevail in a moment, otherwise tarnished by anger and regret. We ask not only that you watch over the drivers tonight, but you watch over the crews, the officials, and the fans who have gathered on these grounds, that you would watch over us in every aspect of our life until you call us home. And we ask all these things in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ. Amen. And now, ladies and gentlemen, with our national anthem, Patrick Davis.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Hey, that means it is showtime. Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1 going to stage out to the Speedway 10 times around. Again, got to be in the top 6 if you want to make it back into that oh-so-important inversion. And the driver of the pole here in Heat Race number 1 at Coleman, Alabama, the Inferno Armor Lynch Machining. Stanton Mach 1, number 3R. It's going to be Kevin Thomas Jr. Lining up next to him, it'll be Carson Garrett. He's out of Littleton, Colorado. The Altos Power Equipment, BGE Darty Motorsports, K&K Excavating, number 15. Second row from the inside, Justin Grant to the Bayonne, California, the DOS Energy, Bow Foundation, MPV Express, Kistler-powered Maxim number 4. And outside of him, last night's feature winner is going to be Mitchell Moles at Raisin City, California. Driver of the AME Electrical Mississippi Valley Transportation, Stanton Spike, number 19, AZ. Wesley Smith at Nixa, Missouri, the Honest Abe Roofing, Claxton DRC, Benning Enterprises, number 2B. He'll go from the 5th starting spot. And lining up 6th, tonight's quick qualifier, Logan Seavey out of Sutter, California, the MPV Express Abacus Racing, Fatheads Rockwell Security, High Performance Lubricants, number 57. Final starter in Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1 comes to you out of Mount Pocono, Pennsylvania. Driver of the JPA Masonry, Newman's Triple X. Amantia Real Estate Stinger Race Fields number 88J. That is Joey Amantia. as that'll be your lineup again at Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1 of 3 tonight with the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship. Round number 24 on the season. Cars will begin to fire, and track looking pretty snazzy right now, considering the added moisture we received.
The unwanted moisture, dare we say. We didn't ask for that.
That side of the road wanted, this side of the road not.
But sometimes you play the hand you're dealt.
So we'll see how the track does here. See if the drivers have to go ahead and hit the afterburner. Just going to have Kenny Loggins on repeat.
And so you see Carson Garrett rolling out of turn number 4 on your screen. He's going to line up on the outside of the front row here in Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1. Was close to his first AMSOIL USAC National Sprint Car victory here just 1 year ago on night number 1 of Top Gun weekend. Came up just 1 spot short and then was 4th last night for night number 1 of this year's version of Top Gun.
So the Toyota Racing Development Pacer are going to speed away from the field a little bit as they're going to go ahead and wrap the throttle in the corners. Lined up just about ready to go. The NOS Energy start can to the green.
So Carson Garrett going to try to make some ground outside of Kevin Thomas Jr. KT's going to get more grip off the bottom there, side by side down the backstretch.
Good moves into turns 3 and 4, nearly 3 wide for the second spot here. Justin Grant into the mix of the NOS Energy number 4. Not quite able to get to second. He's got third, though. Battle up front continues on. Carson Garrett holds strong on the outside.
Carson Garrett going to opt to go to the top side of the racetrack, not shut the door on Kevin Thomas Jr., who's going to get some contact barely out of Justin Grant, who's going to move into second place.
Just a smidgen on the way by. But Justin Grant able to make his way up into the second spot here. Carson Garrett taking off. Grant running the second spot. Kevin Thomas Jr. going to run in third. Mitchell Moles, Logan Seavey, Wesley Smith. Final driver sitting in that all-elusive transfer up into the inversion for the feature lineup. Joey Mantia right now, the one driver on the outside looking in. As we look back at the race for the third spot, you had Moles right there for a moment, not able to get there fast enough.
So last night's winner, Mitchell Moles, going to go to the top side of the racetrack. Kevin Thomas Jr. searching somewhere in the bottom to middle, trying to hold off the 19AZ. He's able to pull some speed down the backstretch as Mitchell Moles going to keep pretty close to him there.
Dice it up at the top spot. Justin Grant able to take it last time at the exit of turn number 2 away from Carson Garrett. Garrett coming after him in turns 3 and 4. Nothing happening, though, as they work into turns 3 and 4 once again. He'll come around with 3 to go. The NOS Energy number 4 showing the way. Grant third to first in this one right now. Garrett sitting in that second spot. Kevin Thomas Jr. right now rides in third. Your top 3 and a little bit of a breakaway.
And this is precisely how Justin Grant ran his way all the way to second on the podium last night. Those really decisive, really abrupt passes around cars.
Coming around to the way with the white flag and 1 to go. Graham building a little bit of advantage here, .917 as they bolt to the back straightaway. He'll find his way around to the near side of the speedway, and Justin Grant going to pick up Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1. Carson Garrett in second, Kevin Thomas Jr. in third, Mitchell Moles in fourth, Logan Seavey, Wesley Smith, and Joey Amantia unofficially running out your field. But your winner, ladies and gentlemen, he comes to you out of Ione, California, the NOS Energy top, number 4. Give him a hand, Justin Grant. Getting the job done. He will take it down to the front straightaway, and we're going to go down to Drake.
2 nights in a row, Justin Grant finds himself in victory lane for a heat race, this time in Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1, his 6th on the season. We'll let him get the helmet off and get a word with your Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1 winner. And Justin, Carson Garrett bobbled in turns 3 and 4, and you pounced instantly. Did you have to pounce right then and there, or do you think you could maybe get him, I should say, a couple laps later?
I don't know. I wasn't waiting to find out. It's pretty fast around here, and track is pretty hammered down there, so you get an opportunity, you got to capitalize on it. And so he bobbled off a 4. We fired the slider there into 1 and 2. Raced him for a lap or so, and yeah, we got an awesome energy drink. 4 cars starting back up towards the front again.
He saw an opportunity and he took it. That's JG, Justin Grant, your winner of Simpson Race Products Heat Race number 1.
Thank you very much. Rada Supply Heat Race number 2. Rolling out to the Speedway. Driving the pole, this one's going to be Colton Connell out of Kansas, Illinois, in the KCBJ Motorsports AJ Filker-powered Maxim chassis number 8D. Outside of him, Matt Westfall. Westfall out of Pleasant Hill, Ohio, the Ray Marshall Motorsports Cressman DRC chassis All-Star Performance number 33M. Next row from the inside, it's the Madman, Robert Ballou to Rockland, California, the Suburban Subaru Donna DRC chassis number 12. And outside of him, that is going to be CJ Leary out of Greenfield, Indiana, the Altos Power Equipment Valvoline One-Way DRC chassis number 15X. Third row, inside line, Jake Swanson out of Anaheim, California, the Snake Enterprises, Bill Trainer Power, DRC chassis, Sharp Advantage, number 5T. And outside of him, you will find Dason Pursley. He is out of Locust Grove, Oklahoma, the Apache Transport, O'Craft Elegant Cabinetry, One-Way DRC chassis, Beaver Stripes, Amsoil, number 21AZ. Final starter here in Rada Supply Heat Race number 2, going to be Cody Williams. The Cody Williams Design Chevrolet DRC chassis, Shields Painting, Plum Wild Podcast, number 26. So that'll be your scheduled lineup here in Rada Supply Heat Race number 2. Again, one more to go after this. Heat Race number 3 will be brought to you by TJ Forged. Driver's going to get a couple laps to get some heat beneath the bonnets and also roll the top side of the Speedway in just a little bit before we get them wound up and ready to go. Cody Williams, a lot of racing on the local level around in and around Indiana. A couple of starts with Boss, a couple of starts with the former MSCS series. 5 times on track leading into the weekend at Lincoln Park. Speaking of Lincoln Park, not the band, the racetrack.
Well, we could talk about the band.
Yes.
Maybe another time.
Could scream about it. We're going to be there next weekend. The Sprintacular. Coming up next Friday and Saturday night. Caution lights about to go dark here in Rada Supply Heat Race number 2. Passing Us Energy start can. Here we go.
Good start for Matt Westfall. He's going to get a pretty good dig for the middle part of the racetrack. Maybe too much.
Rut row. And that's going to position Robert Ballou to the outside of the front row. Again, side by side, and the officials coming out and again reiterating right here. If they only sold them in that size, I'd probably drink them. Huh. Set to try it again off of turn number 4. Better start this time as they work their way down to the front straightaway in turns 1 and 2. Robert Ballou going to take advantage of the outside, and he'll take over the top spot.
Dason Pursley right to the top side of the racetrack. Matt Westfall moves up in front of him and kind of kills that run that Dason had going through turns number 1 and 2 on that first lap.
Battle for the second spot here right now. Cottle has it. Leary wants it as they work to the back straightaway. Leary is kind of sizing him up there. Was able to get the run. Peeks to the inside. Cottle going to take 2 lines to the exit turn number 4. Works to the bottom. And Leary going to set sail on the outside. Still not able to get there fast enough. You got Swanson behind him. Then you got Pursley, Westfall, and Williams running at your running order. But up front, it is the Madman in command.
Dason Pursley trying every which way around the 5T of Jake Swanson. Gets way up near the wall in turns number 1 and 2. And then gets his nose chopped by the 5T.
Through turns 3 and 4, tries to the inside once again, couldn't find it. Goes to the outside, leaves the bottom side open. Leary now with a run to the back straightaway. He's got it. Move him up into the second spot here. Cottle going to try to set sights on him, and here comes Swanson to the inside. Good run by the 5. Exiting turns 3 and 4. Takes over the third spot. Pursley now is he the next one to try to work on the 8.
Jason Pursley doing all he can to try and build some momentum. Gets off the corner. Good that time. Going to pick off Colton Cottle.
Saw Anton Hernandez go up and try that yesterday. Unfortunately, it was just a little too fluffy to get it done. Now, got the track actually working up a little bit higher. The 21AZ with a good run to the front straightaway right on the back bumper. Swanson rolls it up high, dimes it down low at the exit turn number 2. Is he going to push the issue? He is. Drives it in deep across the racetrack. Keep an eye on the 21.
So 21AZ of Jason Pursley gets by the 5T of Jake Swanson for the 3rd position. And we talk about these heat races. Everybody transfers, right? But Jason Pursley wants more than that.
Oh, he definitely wants it, and he's showing it here as the white flag is flown. Less than a half a lap to go. Robert Blue going to work up at turns 3 and 4 this time. Checker flag at a drop, and yet another heat race win for the Madman. CJ Leary, Jason Pursley, Jake Swanson, Colton Cottle, Matt Westfall, and Cody Williams unofficially going to round out your field. So your winner, ladies and gentlemen, out of Rockland, California, the Suburban Subaru, Donna DRC Chassis, Berks Western Telecom, Hinchman, India number 12. Race fans, give him a hand. Robert Ballou. Winner in Rhino Supply Heat Race number 2. Leary crossing in second. Pursley, Swanson, Cottle, Westfall, and Williams. Unofficially rounding out your field. He's going to pull it down trackside, and Drake is going to catch up with your heat race winner.
Robert Ballou gets the job done here in Rhino Supply Heat Race number 2. And Robert, you've been at many races that have been affected by rain. So when you're going back in the pit area and working on your race car, what are the most important things to adjust on a rain-affected racetrack?
I think they started a little drier tonight simply because last night was so wet. I think for 50 laps, we're going to have one hell of a racetrack tonight. The rain obviously helped the racetrack tonight, so I think everyone, I wish these stands were packed, but unfortunately, people stayed away because of the rain, so we hate that for the Turner and the Kenny Brown family for sticking this out and putting up $10,000 tonight. Obviously, it's a lot of money. We've got a really good race car for the first time all weekend, and, as long as the drivers do their jobs and the officiating is correctly, which it hasn't been, there will be hopefully a fair and square winner. So hopefully we can get this Suburban Subaru Deaton's Waterfront Service core installation, Dragonfly Aviation Amy Gardner roofing car with Dawn Up Power up front with DRC and factory cane shocks. So we got something to get with them tonight. So hopefully 50 laps around this little bull ring. Hopefully we can give you fans your money's worth.
Just like Justin Grant, Robert Ballou finds himself in heat race victory lane for the 2nd night in a row.
Thank you very much, Drake. DJ Ford's heat race number 3, staging out to the Speedway. Driving the pole this one at Bedford, Indiana, the Auto Credit Airmaster Heating and AC Cummings DRC number 24M. It's going to be Hunter Maddox. Lining up next to him, you're going to find Mario Klauser out of Auburn, Illinois, the Yokohama Claxton Maxim number 6. Next row from the inside, it's going to be Kyle Cummins out of Princeton, Indiana, the Avanti Windows and Doors, Mach 1 Chassis, Stanton Racing Engine, Apache Transport, Petty Performance Racing number 3P. And outside of him, Nick Harris out of Atlanta, Illinois, in the KRJ Racing Products, Automotive Machine DRC Chassis in 2. The Michael Dutcher Motorsports 17 GP, the driver to Worthington, Indiana. Jaden Rogers going to go for the inside of front number 3. Next to him, it's the Macho Man, Brady Bacon, the Telstar Technologies, Rider XXX, Fatheads, Davis Brothers, number 69. And your final starter set to be Hayden Harvey out of Warrensburg, Illinois, the JS Farm Spec-Powered Maxim VFW Post 4829, number 8. As that'll be your scheduled lineup here for TJ Ford's Heat Race number 3. So again, letting drivers get a little heat in the engines and pack the track in a little bit. Now they'll go ahead and get the signal to go ahead and get side by side and ready to go. Signal from the starter stand as well as word from the officials on the receiver system. So field lined up, ready to go. Caution lights going to to the wave of the green flag.
So Mario Klauser with a big head of steam trying to get around the 24M of Hunter Maddox down the backstretch. He's going to get it done this time.
Boy, Mario Klauser working the high side and working it nice here as they work around to complete lap number 1. The 24M sitting in that second spot. He's got company. Look out. Kyle Cummins saw the door open. The door slammed on him, though. Now going to peek to the inside. He's going to bolt by on the back straightaway. Braxton, the 5D's a dodgeball, but he's able to make his way by as they work into turns 1 and 2. Now Bacon working the inside in 69, going after the N2 of Nick Harris. Working into turns 3 and 4. Bacon up across the racetrack. Takes the line away from the N2 as now the 17 GP into that mix as well.
Yes, and Brady Bacon's pass on the N2 of Nick Harris gives Jaden Rogers enough time to get by him with that broken momentum.
Starting to close in on the Airmaster number 24M, Hunter Maddox. Up front, though, Mario Klauser trying to run away. Kyle Cummins trying to reel him in right now. Battle for the third spot. Brady up on the 24. Last time of the exit, turn number 2. Now going to try to close up once again, but it will be Maddox with momentum on the outside.
Brady Bacon pretty committed to the bottom side of the racetrack. He's going to slide up in front of the 24M that time and going to pick him off.
2 times off the 4 with the short slide. 2 times able to pick up a position. Battle at the front of the field. The Avante windows the doors number 3. Hot and heavy on the Yokohama Tires number 6 machine as they work into turns 1 and 2. There's the slide. Couldn't quite get up next to him. Well, he got up next to him. Couldn't get in front of him.
Mario Klauser definitely has some company out of Kyle Cummins. That's not the last attempt for that pass that Kyle Cummins is going to make. He's going to try it one more time here in turns number 1 and 2. Slides up the racetrack. Loses some ground to Mario Klauser that time.
White flag Cummins. Slide for slide. Here we go. Klauser going to hold on to it. Working into turns 1 and 2. This time Cummins not enough momentum trying to set up the slide. Does he do it in turns 3 and 4? He's going to duck to the inside. No. Klauser going to hold on to it in 6. But Buddy Bockover would say that was a Jim Dandy. What a run for that one. Cummins in second, Bacon in third, Rogers, Maddox, Harris, Harvey unofficially running at your field, but your winner in that one, race fans, give him a hand. Mario Klauser getting the job done. Let's go down trackside.
And Mario Klauser certainly earned that one. And Mario, Kyle Cummins threw all sorts of stuff at you. What was the key to keeping him behind you?
Well, I'm lucky Kyle's a little bit of a nice guy because he probably could have cleaned me out right there. Man, I don't know. Just got to thank Davey back in the pits, man. He's been working his butt off this weekend, and we've made a lot of gains here. And knew we needed to win that to try and get ourselves in a better spot for the future. I can't believe how out of breath I am. This place is intense, man, and to run 50 around here like that is going to be a lot of work. It's hot out today.
Mario Klauser, he says he loves the big tracks, but he has always been good here at the Macon Speedway. Look for him tonight in tonight's 50-lap feature event. He's your winner at TJ4's heat race number 3.
Thank you very much, as that will conclude heat races here tonight for the USAC Amsoil Sprint Car National Championship as Micros and Hornets going to be coming up next for their events here.